So let's go ahead, take a look at what, in terms of something that you read in your life that changed you into who you are today. You would not be the same person.
There have been so many things, and I can't even tell you what they are because I don't have a good memory to quote authors or even to remember books, even movies that really profoundly affected me. I'll think, what was the name of that movie? I just remember the moment, the aha moment of it, and I take that, you know. So I had a real hard time even thinking about books and things like that because really I've had a hard time reading all my life. So I've struggled with ADD and all kinds of focusing things. So this idea of books and stuff, I don't even know how to answer, except that more recently in this specific journey, the formation process of the intercessors of the Lamb have really provided a lot of tools, books, workbooks. And there is one book in particular that I've been working on for maybe 6 months now that has been very instrumental, and that's the book that I chose to refer to because it's the most real instrument book-wise right now that seems to be capitalizing on my life experiences. So it's kind of touching in. This is the book.
Which book is that? So our viewers know?
Mother Nadine Brown's book,
I met her.
Inner Healing Through the Heart of Jesus.
And you said you've met her, Juanita?
I think I did. Sister Nadine Brown is Intercessors of the Lamb. She was over at St. Isidore's a couple years ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
there was a retreat that she came and gave her little. I was at that retreat, and that was my first time meeting her and hearing her story.
Oh, okay. Well, let me go ahead and make sure I've got this written down correctly. Okay. Nadine, yep.
And she wrote this since that.
Okay.
Since then, this is a newer book for her. And I can tell you, when I was, I had a couple people recommending this book to me, and I was at a conference there where Mother Nadine lives in Omaha. They throw these week-long conferences every summer and invite anyone and everyone to come, and they just minister to you for that whole week. It's like a week retreat, and there's people from all over the world that come. It was a great experience, and I hope I live long enough to experience many more. But I was praying, and I said, Lord, you know, money and everything, I didn't want to spend money, and I just thought, if I'm going to make a purchase, it's got to be the right one, you know.
Yeah.
And I opened this up, and this has been a question that I've been asking the Lord to help me with for years now, as a mother, as a wife, as a friend, as a person. This question about maturity, basic maturity, whether it's Christian, just why are some people seemingly able to just mature and at the different levels that they're supposed to be, you know, psychologically or, you know.
Which is a question that a person who struggled with ADD would ask themselves throughout the years. Why can I not be this?
These areas where I feel I struggle with maturity, what, you know, or as you're raising your children, why are some of these kids able to just kind of mature in ways that seem natural and then some get stuck? Or what's with my husband? You know, get with the program here.
Why can't he grow up?
Why can't he grow up in this, you know? Because he comes from Florida, I come from Michigan. He came from a whole different world as far as his upbringing and everything. And, you know, and I struggle with why, and even friends, some friends, just the way they react to things, it's so immature. But what is it that keeps them from being able to have a mature response? Just not judgmental, just what is it? What causes maturity? How do we nurture maturity? How does it happen? And this isn't something I just asked when I was looking at this book. This is something that's been burning on my heart. And
This
I,
is quite a build-up to this. I can't wait to hear this quote.
I ask psychologists this. I ask friends who do ministry, and I'm always asking this question to just see what I get. So this was the first thing when I said, Lord, show me if this is the purchase you want me to make. Show me if this is the book. I just need to know this is it. And it was just open to it a second ago. And it just jumped out at me, so I highlighted it and I wrote it down, and it said,
Maturity is simply becoming healed as a child. This little child is the primary cause of adult immaturity. The adult in us cannot really come into full maturity until the child is healed within us.
So,
Wow.
it has to do with our
Can you
inner
read that
child.
again, hon?
Huh?
Can you read it again?
Maturity is simply becoming healed as a child. I flipped it open and it's in a little box here. And then they expound on it a little bit. It becomes too frightening to be a child, too hurtful. It makes us too vulnerable. So that's part of the reason why we don't want to sit and just let the Lord right in there. It's so scary because we have so many hurts from being a child. So why in the heck would you want to become a child if your experience of childhood was awful or painful? This little child is the primary cause of adult immaturity. So we start with being a wounded child and we go into adulthood wounded. And that's where our immaturity comes out, because we're wounded and we haven't matured in those painful areas. So it's that little child is what causes adults' immaturity. The adult in us cannot really come into full maturity until the child is healed within us. Bam! That insight, that aha, it just grabbed me, and I thought if for no other reason to get this book, it was worth it just to investigate that little part. And that's what grabbed me. And that began a whole process for me of wanting to venture into that wounded part of my own heart at whatever the cost. And really, that's what I think. And when you start cherishing what's really in there and the potential for good and the unique the unique beauty of your own heart, when you start seeing glimpses that is something worth investing in, then you want to spend time there. And this gave me hope that my own heart was worth spending time with.